It's a brand new milestone week. Several brand new discussion topics selected by you. A new face on the 360 team too. A whole new conversation. Welcome back to 360 Speedway. Do not adjust your sets. My nose really is this red. I have succumbed to a bit of a bug. I'm propped up by tablets and handkerchiefs, but I'm heroically prepared to battle on and help to bring you this week's offering of 360 Speedway. What a hero. Hey, welcome to episode 20 already. Believe me, a number we weren't entirely sure we would ever reach, but with your support we are delighted to be on episode 20 now of 360 Speedway. Thank you for being part of the 360 journey. Hope you are all fit and well, much healthier than I am, and super keen to get stuck in to some more brain-racking Speedway discussion. So let's start, as is our customary way to do so, by introducing this week's expert lineup. And I'm delighted to say we've got a new face to reveal tonight, making his 360 Speedway debut. A familiar face, certainly to supporters of his former clubs, Ipswich, Edinburgh, Rye House, Oxford, Exeter and Newport amongst them all. Some new opinions on all things Speedway to be shared by Lawrence here. Hello Lawrence, welcome to the team.
Hello. Good evening.
Good to have you on board, Lawrence here. Next up, welcome back to the 360 Hot Seat, the housewife's favourites. That's what he tells me. Let's say rinky dinky do to Carol Johnson. Welcome back, Carol.
Evening, Derek. Evening, everybody.
And completing this week's 360 lineup, the man of the people. He says it as it is, and that's what people admire him for. It's Big Mac, Stewart McDonald.
Evening all, evening everybody.
Collectively, this week's handlebar heroes. Usual disclaimer applies, although I do use slightly different wording each week, simply to say that all the views and opinions expressed by us on 360 Speedway are absolutely those of ours as individuals and not in any way associated to any clubs, current or former, that we have any sort of association to. Right, so first off, a huge thank you for all your continued and growing support and interest in 360 Speedway. All the various platform analytics tell us that you are enjoying what we do and getting much more interactive with it. Please keep doing that. More of the same. Please hit those thumbs up buttons. It's a small action by you, but a very powerful one, and it helps to push out 360 Speedway to the social media and YouTube stratosphere. I love saying that word. Okay then, another new week, a whole new conversation. If you are sitting comfortably, let's now get stuck in to episode 20. We're back on rider interview mode this week. We know that you like hearing from some of the former or current stars of the track, and as we head into we're beginning to close in on the end of the current season, a long winter lays ahead, and hopefully we'll do our best to serve up some more of these interviews over the winter period. However, joining us this week for episode 20 to talk life and Speedway, undoubtedly one of the sport's biggest characters. He makes friends and admirers everywhere that he rides. He's never lacking for effort or style either. Let's now welcome to 360 Speedway, the man, the myth, the moustache. Welcome, Castagna.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Buongiorno, Paco. How's that for some Googled Italian, Paco? Paco, listen, thanks for making time to come up and talk to us on 360 Speedway. I seen you race at Glasgow only last Friday night. You then popped up on my TV screen from Wrocław on Saturday night, and now you're here talking to 360 Speedway about life and Speedway. You lead a cherished life, Paco Castagna.
Yeah, I kind of do. The only thing that I'm lacking is hours of sleep, which I'm trying to get this week. And now that I'm at home, I can tell you the last week was a bit hectic. We had where we had Leicester on the Thursday. It was a bad night, and then arrived home 4 o'clock in the morning, washed 2 bikes Friday, go to Glasgow, wash the bike after Glasgow to then go to Wrocław to watch the GP. Now looking back, I need I'm over 30-year-old, so I need 3 days recover after all this work.
What a glamorous life. Paco, I'm going to start with a killer question. Given what you've just said and how all-consuming the life of a speedway rider is, and your life in particular, a killer question, Paco. Can you even begin to consider life after speedway?
Yeah, I think you. To be honest with you, I've had this thought already, because being 30-year-old or 31 even, you kind of want to look forward, and I'm already thinking about that and trying to put my hands forward, but that doesn't mean that I want to take the effort off Speedway. I'm full on as a Speedway rider. I know that during the winter I can work in my family's restaurant, well, my grandmother's restaurant, as a cook, like I always do during the winter. And then I also, have other plans for the future. I want to stay involved in the sport or in the motorsport in general. And, it's been already, I think, 10 years that I've done the, how can you say, like the school to teach the kids.
Yes.
And I think that one of the guys that actually saw that was John Campbell at Edinburgh Speedway when I went to teach the kids there a couple of times.
Very good, Paco. Paco, you mentioned you were in Wrocław as recently as Saturday night. Later in this episode, we are going to do a little bit of a focus discussion on the final round in Williams in a couple of weeks' time. But I wanted to ask you, you've seen these guys at close quarters. Who's coming out on top, Bartosz or Brady, Paco?
It's too close to say. I see Bartosz, which is a guy that changed the speedway world in general. He's changed, there are those guys that changed the sport during the years, and you can name them. I think, it's obviously different opinions, but I think the first guy that changed the sport was probably Tony Rickardsson, 6 times world champion, or guys like Hans Nielsen, guys like Per Jonsson. I think that Per Jonsson changed the style of speedway in the 90s, and that's what Zmarzlik has done now. So you can never take him off the equation, obviously. But Brady is he's so strong mentally, and he can make stars from everywhere, and he's so fast when he wants to win so bad. So Voyance is a tricky track. I can tell you, only raced there once, and you need to make starts. So I think that Brady really have a chance there.
It's absolutely, it's fascinating, Paco, and I would imagine there would be a bumper TV audience for that final round in Williams. Paco, you were in the pits at Wrocław on Saturday night. You've seen firsthand how intense the Grand Prix are from a rider's perspective. You have been in multiple Grand Prix challenges, Paco, and are you more frustrated or more relieved in some senses that you didn't quite qualify for the Grand Prix, given the intensity of it and how much effort and investment has to go into being a Grand Prix rider?
So I can tell you that that's the aim probably of every rider, to be in the GPs and be in the top of the sport, and that doesn't mean that you feel eventually prepared to jump in. I wanna qualify for the GPs eventually. I know that that's the road that I have to take. At the moment now, I don't feel like I would be a good enough GP speedway rider, but I don't think that somebody that qualified for the challenge and did that ever felt, you never feel ready for that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Everything is such a big change, so you just take a swing on things. And I've done a couple of challenges, and there was a big hit in the face, obviously, because such a high level, you need to be, wow, it's like such a high pressure meeting. Even if it's only 5 hits, it's just like the pressure is up there, and you need to have everything perfect. So, we know what's coming, and I just missed out on a runoff this year. So I'm already thinking about what to change for next year to try to qualify.
is it you know, can you put your finger on it? You mentioned it earlier, Paco, just as we were getting ourselves set up for this interview. You mentioned that you were impressed by the speed and the aggression, I guess, that some of these GP riders have on track. What does Paco Castagna have to find to be able to match those guys?
Would you believe that a guy like even Brady or Jack Holder back in the day when he was racing for Plymouth were fast enough to race in the GPs? Not really, would you? But the development they've done by racing in different leagues, racing in harder leagues, and do that week by week, you get to that level. So you need to keep improving in your leagues and your individual racing to get to that level and maintain that level so that you can race against the top of the world every week, week in and week out. What you can see in the GPs is riders that race the best guys in the world every week, and they maintain it. Fair play to them. So I think that's what it takes. Good bikes, good equipment, good fitness, and just race at that level constantly. Get that first, obviously,
Yes.
and then maintain it.
Consistency is key, Paco. Consistency. Paco, let's have a look at your British season this year, which is not over. There's still lots of important meetings ahead of you. So first off, a little focus of my favourite team, and everyone knows it's my favourite team, Edinburgh, of course. So listen, being very honest, Paco, not too many people outside of the Edinburgh Speedway bubble might have given the Monarchs much chance at the start of this season of making the playoffs. A lot of people pre-season wrote Edinburgh off and destined them to be at the very foot of the championship table. And to your credit, and to the team's wider credit, that's you guys really have put in a good shift home and away this year to claw yourselves into a playoff position.
Well, it's not sure yet, so it's not 100% yet. But what I say is that we are very, very close, and we are very proud of the position we put ourselves in. I think it was a very tough moment when we had a rider withdraw from the team and decide not to race for us anymore, and we had to find a replacement. We couldn't find a replacement, and then we had a couple of injuries here and there, and we kept battling through it, and. Here we are in a very, very close position to the playoffs to race against clearly the best team in the league at the moment. So yeah, we're very, very much looking forward to that. I think we spoke to the boys. We are very, very proud. I think that was the goal of the season, to reach the playoffs. Again, touch wood, but. It's good. It's unbelievable. We were knocked out of KO Cup and BSN because of what I've just explained as well. I think that halfway through the season we had a switch. We changed the team. I fought very, very hard to get a good team spirit, all together, and we do have that now. So, I hope we can go out and shock some people.
Well, listen, you've been very realistic, Paco, but I think Edinburgh have nine fingers and 9 toes in the playoffs as things currently stand, and you've alluded to it. So, as if Glasgow and Edinburgh haven't met enough times this year, we've already raced each other 8 times, and we're destined, I think, to clash in the playoff semi-final. And from an Edinburgh point of view, and I'm happy to give you the airtime to talk about this, but from an Edinburgh point of view, what a delight it would be to overcome Glasgow of all teams and get through to the grand final, Paco.
No, but I think that everybody that watch UK Speedway realize that Glasgow this year built a super strong team. They kept it more or less the same all year long, and they've been successful in the league and in other competitions. So if you want to be the best, you gotta be the best. You gotta beat the best. So we know what we go against. We know what kind of tracks we expect. I think that we are the guys that can shock. I know that we are the underdogs, and that puts us on a fantastic position. I think why not go out and try to make a mess of the whole thing, you know? So yeah, I think that the meetings at Glasgow, we had quite a few problems which weren't said, which weren't told at the public, and you know, kind of bike problems and riders problems and illnesses and stuff like this, which has to stay, I personally think, secret between the team and the team riders, and that's what gives me a lot of hope.
Yes.
For the players.
Do you know, Paco, I was going to say jokingly, stop playing with my mind, right? You're messing with my mind. But
I love that.
but you know what, Paco? You know, I as a Glasgow supporter, right? I would rather Glasgow were the underdog. I don't like it when Glasgow are favourites for anything. I don't like that. But listen, just one question: if you had a choice, would Edinburgh or would you have preferred to have faced Poole or Redcar?
I see them all as crazy strong, at home and away. I think that all three teams are very strong at Armadale. They've got very good riders for Armadale, and they're very strong away. I think that I always felt like Edinburgh was always the team that did very well at Redcar and Poole. But that doesn't mean that we cannot go to Glasgow and upset. I think we've done that in the past. I know we had different riders. I know it was different times, but I like Glasgow. As I told you earlier, I'm getting the grip of the track more and more. I'm a very slow learner, but you know, it's getting better. So no, I think that with a good fit team, we can run you guys and probably win. But of course, all cards need to be dealt properly.
Listen, Paco, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt anything that you've just said at all. And Edinburgh, let's be fair, Glasgow and Edinburgh have had more than enough practice on each other's circuits this year. That there are no excuses. There are no excuses for the playoff, right? Paco, you seem very settled at Edinburgh, and you know, I know I said in my introduction that your manner, your personality is one that easily settles in and is very popular at any club that you race for, and I absolutely recognise that. But at Edinburgh, I seem to sense maybe a special relationship with the supporters.
So I personally think that I've always been watching sports a lot, and I think that fans are the heart of the sport, and I always try to give my best everywhere I go, whether it's individual or clubs. And of course, when you race for a club for different years, you kind of get close to the fans and the club. And I've been there for years already. And Edinburgh gave me a good chance when I wanted to move, from Birmingham and try something different and go to a track where I wanted to learn English Speedway or British Speedway.
Paco. Scottish Speedway.
Of course. Because we foreigners, we always say English, and I know that's a very, very problematic word to say. No, but the
Scottish.
No, but I wanted to go somewhere and learn how to race speedway in the UK, and that was a track where you have to learn how to race that. So that was a good move for me, and I'm pretty settled. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna stay there forever, or it's certain that I'm gonna stay there forever. Yeah. I want to go forward in the sport, and I want to be the best version of Paco Castagna Speedway rider, as hard as I can. I'm trying to do that. So if that means that I have to move from Edinburgh, then I might have to do that. But I'm very well settled, and I love the club. I love the fans. They help me everywhere they can. So it's good to give back what I receive also.
Thank you, Paco. Carol and Lawrence and Stuart, I'm going to bring you in. You know, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, and apologies for doing so, but I don't know how well, if at all, you know Paco, but I'd be interested in your guys' views and opinions of outside looking in at Paco Castagna and what you see of him on and off track. Carol, can I bring you in first? What's your overarching impression of this young man?
Yeah, evening, Paco. I've had dealings with him obviously before when I was at Peterborough. I've had him as a guest for me, and he's rode fantastically well for me. I think he guested at Glasgow for me one night, and we pushed Glasgow really close. But yeah, listen, you've only got to look at him and listen to him to know what sort of character he is. And he's no different within Speedway as he's talking to us tonight. I've also had the pleasure of playing football alongside him.
I was going to say that.
Which was certainly different. But yeah, it's characters like this guy. There's a few and far between within Speedway now, and we've had him in the past, but he's one of them characters now up to date that we have. And I don't think, personally, I don't think he gets the opportunities that he probably should do. Because I do think there's certainly a good rider in there that, 30 or not, 31, whatever, it's, you're only as old as you feel, and you're only as good as your last race. And I think, he's a likeable character. Obviously, I can see that the Edinburgh fans would love him, as many people do.
You've got a super exciting style as well, Paco. Yeah, I always enjoy watching you race in third place or fourth place. Lawrence, you're a former Edinburgh rider. I don't know if you keep a particularly close eye on Edinburgh, but what's your views and impressions of the impact that Paco has made at Edinburgh, Lawrence?
Yeah, we've got an association. I don't think we've met Paco. Have we at all?
Probably not. I was gonna, I thought about it earlier, and I don't remember any of it.
Can't think, so, but you can see why obviously very popular up there, charismatic and flamboyant, and I hope the good people at Edinburgh are all treating you well. There's some great people up there, and they're really good, like you say.
Very.
Help you no end, and can't do enough for you. It's a little bit of a way to go, but you have to put the miles in. But I'm sure you manage that fine. But yeah, like I say, you can see why the fans love you and everything. Do you prefer those sort of smaller technical tracks like that, or?
So I didn't. Coming from Europe, in Europe you have big, fast tracks, and that's when I wanted to make the move to Edinburgh, because I wanted to learn those very technical and small tracks. And if guys like Sam Masters can be the best in the league racing Wolverhampton and Edinburgh, that means that that's the place where you want to go and learn. I remember I've got this conversation in my head that I had with Crampy, and he told me that he wanted to sign for Bellevue once to learn to ride that track, which he used to hate, the old Bellevue, obviously, because he wanted to become a better rider. And I always had that in my mind, and I know that it might sound stupid, but you need to challenge yourself and go to tracks where you might struggle and get better. Now, I feel like I'm a lot better in the smaller tracks compared to probably the bigger ones, and that's why I was going back to what I was saying earlier. I wanna challenge myself and keep going forward in the sport, and that's why I want to see what happens next year.
Stuart McDonald, you're another former Edinburgh rider. You know the Scottish Speedway scene very well. Any insight, any observations about Paco and the role that he plays for the Monarchs?
Evening, Paco. How you doing? I've never had the pleasure, but I've watched a lot of Paco and BSN round Armadale. Wow, you race that place well, Paco. You do. For such a big chap. I mean, I'm 6 foot, Paco, and I loved Armadale. I really did. But the way that you get round there, I mean, I watched you at Birmingham as well, and I thought at Birmingham was the same situation. And listening to you tonight, you're just so motivational. You really are. I mean, you should be sitting down at dinners and meetings and doing talks. Every time, you're watching, you always light the place up, Paco, and, like your dad, I had the pleasure of racing against your dad years ago, and meeting your dad, and he's produced a cracker with you, I'll tell you. He really has. He has. Do you know what I mean? And listen, the Edinburgh fans are brilliant. I've had Edinburgh, I've had Glasgow, I've been loved, I've been hated. But you know what? I've got so many friends at Edinburgh, and even now I still speak to people that love you to bits. And listen, I don't think they would let you go if they could, and I think they would keep you forever. But honestly, Paco, what an entertainer, and a pleasure to have you in Speedway.
Thank you. I appreciate what you guys are saying. It's not. it's difficult. It's difficult to have. No, sorry, I'm gonna change it. It's very easy to have a different personality within the sport outside your life and be a different guy. But I cannot. I've tried in the past to fake it and be the hard guy, and I cannot do it. So I'll just be myself, and I'm very pleased that when I made that decision, just to go out how I feel, say how I feel. I've been hated by clubs by going there when I'm racing for Edinburgh and say, this place is absolutely. Can we swear in this podcast?
Yeah, go ahead, Paco. Go ahead.
But and be hated by the clubs because I just go out and say what I feel, and it turns out that it's good, and I keep doing it. So I'm very happy to see that people are recognizing it, and I just hope that I can make the progress in the sport that I've put myself into, that I want to do. And go to the top level. I think there are, even in this sport, there are not many. I don't see many real personalities in the sport. Probably because it's easier not to show it. I get it. So I don't know. I just hope that it gets on during the years as it is now.
Be your authentic self, Paco. That's all we want from you. Paco, it would be neglectful not to mention the Premiership, the British Premiership, and. You are another club that you have a lot of history with is, of course, Birmingham, and you're a passionate Italian. I would imagine that the events of last week, Paco, would have been quite emotional for you.
Yeah, it was a bit emotional. I mean, it was just bad to see that. I said it with a couple of people. It was a shame to see so many people at the last meeting.
Yeah,
you would not believe.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, what are you guys doing the year? Like, we really needed that support. But I understand it's very difficult, for people to be at the track every week or every other week, and it's not easy. But Birmingham, I said it in an interview. Birmingham gave me the chance back. Because, of course, my first year was, I did 6 meetings with Sheffield, and then I jumped into Ipswich, got the sack, got injured. And this was like 2015-16. I was a very young kid, and I was not ready for UK. But it gave me a big kick in the face, not to say elsewhere, but and I learned a lot. And, Birmingham gave me the chance back. I jumped back in the league, did a good couple of years there. Of course, COVID was in the middle. And after that, I decided to jump into Edinburgh. But I was always grateful for Birmingham and giving me the chance to jump back in the league and show what I really can do. And of course, I'm still racing in the UK because of Birmingham and their chance. So it was good to get the call into the top league back and race for them. It was very meaningful to me, and I was very happy to jump into the team and as you guys said, see that I was taking a good support to the fans and also to the team.
Paco Castagna, it's always a genuine pleasure, and I mean this. You and I have spoken a couple of times. You've done a couple of interviews for me, so thank you very much, Paco. It's a genuine pleasure to speak with you, and keep being your authentic self, Paco. Don't change a thing. And after the playoff semi-final, I wish you every success, Paco.
Well, I'll try to spoil the show as much as I can. I'll try to go there and make you very, very sad then.
Thank you, Paco. Listen, I look forward to seeing you trackside in a few weeks' time, yeah?
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. And wish you a good night. Thank you.
All the best to semis.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Paco.
Ciao, ciao.